Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going to be going through all the diamond trims, and this is going to include all the unenchanted and the enchanted, which is right behind me. So yeah, let's jump right into the video. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. So if you guys didn't know how to add the armor trim onto this, you go into a smithing table. It can be enchanted, throw it in there, throw whatever material you want to enchant, and then your trim. And then you should get your enchanted trim, as you can see I have on right now. Jumping into our first one we have is the Century. We have quartz, amethyst, copper, iron, lapis, redstone, gold, diamond, emerald, resin, which you find in the Pale Gardens, and netherite. Coming from the back angles, Century armor trim you find through Villager Outpost, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that is Century, and let's jump into the next one. Going into the Vex armor trim, I'm not going to go through them all because you can read and you can look at it. It gets really repetitive for you guys. The Vex armor trim you find in mansions, woodland mansions. In the back, really not much to this one. It kind of just looks like a suit and tie from the front. Yeah, that is the Vex. Next we have is the Wild armor trim. Find this one in jungle temples. In the back we actually have a little bit more to look at. That is the Wild. Next we have is the Coast. Find this in shipwrecks. Shipwrecks and those little like round ancient like villages, you know, that are underwater. Go. Next we have is our Dune. Find this in the temples, the desert temples. I like this one. It looks a lot more like... looks like a dune. Wayfinder. One you find in the Trails and Tales. The, suspicious sand and suspicious gravel. Brush those off using copper brush. Definitely stuff that can, they can do a lot more with the Trails and Tales, I think. Yes, that is the Wayfinder. Next is the Razor, which you also find in Trails and Tales. This one's cool because the diamond armor has a natural white glint to it. So it kind of already has a added color feature to it. And then the enchanted version makes it shine a little bit brighter. Next we have is the Shaper. Next we have is the Host, which is the last one you find through Trails and Tales. If I'm going too fast, I apologize. I try to keep a happy median for them all. Some people think I go too slow. When I did these in the netherite armor trims, which if you are looking for netherite armor trims, I have multiple videos on those on my channel as well. But yes, that is the Host. Going into the Ward, which you find in the ancient cities. This one is really cool because it has a darker color. It's one of my favorites. I like the gold version. Emerald's pretty cool. Netherite's alright. But overall, pretty cool armor trim. Kind of looks like a necklace, in my opinion. Yes, that is the Ward. We have the Silencer next, or the Silence rather. This one is by far my favorite, just because I think it adds the most detail to your armor. Get the most bang for your buck in terms of an armor trim. Looking at it from back. Oh. I do like the legging. I like everything in this one. If I'm going to do a full set in the same armor trim, I'm choosing Silence. It's the hardest one to get, but yes. Silence one looks good. Next we have is the Tide one, which you find in... I think you actually make it from the Prismarine that you get from the underwater temples, all the guardians and everything down there. Yes, I like this one. I like this one's helmet a lot, and the leggings look pretty cool. Well, front, but yes, this is the Tide. Moving into the Snout armor trim, where you go into the Nether to get this one. It should be in Bastions, if I'm not mistaken. Real good. Go. Back. Overall, I like the Snout. And let's jump into the next Nether one. Going into the Rib armor trim. Find this one in Nether Fortresses. Those chests that you see in them. You also make them with, well, actually you do have to find the original armor trim. Duplicate it. But yes, these are the armor trims for Rib. Let's jump into our next one. Looking at our first end one, we have the Eye, which I think this looks more like an emerald. But I know it's supposed to look like an Eye of Ender. But correct me if I'm wrong, look at that emerald one. It looks exactly like an emerald. In the back, a little bit more detail. I like the leggings on the back on this one. Yeah, jump into our next end one. Looking at our spire, which is the other end one. You find this one in the cities, end cities. Nice elytra along with it. Go. Back. I hope I'm not going too fast for you guys. Yes, this is the spire. Next we have is the bolt, which you find in the trial chambers. I think this looks like a farmer's overalls, in my opinion. Overalls of a farmer in the back for sure. Know what you guys think about that? Yeah, that is the bolt. Find those in those ominous chests. Then our last but not least is our flow. You also find in the trial chambers, in those ominous chests, keys and everything. You have to actually do a trial chambers, so I have to get to that now for a little bit. Yes. Are the flow. And yeah. So jumping into Sentry, we have our quartz, amethyst, copper, iron, lapis, redstone, gold, diamond, emerald, resin, netherite. Let's get the back view for all these. And that is our Sentry. Next, moving into the Vex, we have our quartz, amethyst, copper, iron, lapis, redstone, gold, diamond, emerald, resin, netherite. Let's look at it from the back. This back one just looks like it has like a tie almost. That's what the Vex kind of shows, has that tie look. If you're trying to make a suit and tie, that's what I would use as the Vex. Let's jump into the next one. Looking at the wild, you find that in jungle temples, quartz, amethyst, copper, iron, lapis, redstone, gold, diamond, emerald, resin, netherite. Looking at it from the back, got a little bit more design in the back, but not a whole lot. Yeah, that is our wild. Jumping into our coast, find this in shipwrecks. You have your quartz, amethyst. I'm not going to go through these all. This one has a real nice armor trim. I like that. Yeah, this is our coast one. Jumping into our next one, we have is our dune. Find this in desert temples. I like this one because it has like that chest plate piece that looks really cool. Also has just a lot more color. The back looks like really cool as well. A lot more color with these as we keep going. But yeah, that is our dune. Next we have is our wayfinder. Like this. You find this in the trails and tails, like the brushing, all the suspicious gravel and suspicious sand. Looks good. Very simple one. Easy to get a lot of. This one's really easy to get a lot of, but you compete with the other ones, which I'll talk to in a second. But yes, that is our wayfinder, our first suspicious sand and suspicious gravel. It's a mouthful. Next, we have the razor, which you also find in those trails and tails. I like the netherite look to this one because it's got like a shiny on it. This tutorial does include resin, which is new as of the Pale Gardens. But yes, let's jump into the next one here. Shaper, also found in the Trails and Tails. Very simple. I'm not a big fan of the Shaper one, personally. All it really has is the sleeves of the chest plate and a little bit on the helmet. Looks like a headband almost. That is our Shaper. Jump into our host. Trying to give you guys time to like pause if you want to see something in exact. If you're looking at a specific color, jump right into it. So you also find this in the Trails and Tails. This should be the last one that you find in those. Next one we're going into is the Ward armor trim, one of my personal favorites, just because it has like that darker tone to it. You can see in the middle of the chest plate, it's got a darker color. This you find in the Ancient Cities. You do have to fight the Warden, or at least survive the Warden. Yes, that is our Ward armor trim. Next one is my personal favorite, the Silence. You also find this in the Ancient City. This one is just really cool. It adds a lot of color to the armor trims. You see, it also has a really cool back. Looks like a cool accessory you could have on your armor for sure. That is the Silence. I really personally like the resin one with this. Going into the Tide armor trim, you find this in Ocean Temples. Or at least those ancient ruins also at the bottom of the ocean. With the drowns. The helmet actually looks pretty cool on this armor trim, I think. That is the Tide. Hopefully I'm going slow. We have the Snout armor trim. Find this one in the Nether, if I'm not mistaken. Out. Going into the Rib, where you also find this in the Nether. And Bastions, if I remember correctly. Snout might be in Bastions. This one might be in Nether Forge. So that is our Rib. Personally, I like it because it's got like a darker color to it. Yes, let's jump into our next one here. Going into our Eye, you find this one in the end. This one has like almost an emerald shape to the center. You can see that. Like it looks almost exactly like an emerald, which obviously is supposed to be an eye of Ender. But I think the Dune one looks more like an eye, and this one emerald. Do like the leggings a lot on this one. This is where I'd kind of mix and match and take those leggings. But yeah, so that is the Eye. Going into Spire, also found in the end. Like the lapis one and the redstone. Gold one's alright. Emerald, resin. you are. That is the Spire. Next we have the Bolt one, which is new with the Trial Chambers. That's where you find it, in those ominous key crates. I really like this one. Almost looks like it's like straps. Like if you were being like a farmer, this would be a good like overalls type armor trim, I think, personally. Really cool. Yeah, so that is the Bolt, and we'll get into our last one here. So our last one is the Flow armor trim, which you also find in the Trial Chambers and the ominous key openings. So it's kind of random what you get, but overall, I like the Flow one. Probably not my favorite to use. But yeah. These. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and if you have, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.